when a man tells me his body count and it's like, it's high, I'm like, bro, I don't think you're cool. I don't think you got it like that. I just think you're a now, and I wouldn't date you. I wouldn't marry you. I wouldn't even kiss you. You're actually, that's no.
She didn't. She's joking. She is joking. Girl, you're kidding. You're so funny.
Reason number 526,000 why men get on my nerves. Today I had an appointment at 3 o'clock. I get home by 3:30. I'm in the bathroom minding my business scrolling on TikTok. Here comes my man through the door. Is your appointment done? If it wasn't done, wouldn't I still be at the appointment? Knocking on my door annoying me. Crazy! I'm so crazy!
So here's the thing. She got home at 3:30. Appointment was over. And the first thing he does is ask if it's done. That's not him checking on her. That's him not paying attention. If your appointment was supposed to be done at 3, why would you still be out? The logic is there. He just wasn't thinking. That's the move when a man's already halfway checked out of the whole thing.
Can I just say it's extremely frustrating that no one talks to each other on the street anymore. I just walked out of Whole Foods. There was a guy I was staring at while shopping, and he was staring at me. I was clearly interested in him, giving him all the signs, and he still didn't approach me. But, I also didn't approach him, and what does that say about me? I guess I have to be that person in this modern day because men don't pursue women anymore. I just want to be pursued, and I guess I am part of the problem.
I think what a lot of men are realizing is that time is one thing that you really can't get back, right? And they're looking at how much time they spend chasing, how much time they spend arguing, how much time they spend trying to make something work that was never going to work in the first place. And they're stepping back and looking at it and saying, is it worth my time? Is it worth a headache? Is it worth continuing to climb up this hill or try to climb up this hill? Probably not. Probably not. Right? And now they're saying, I want my time back. Not wasting another year, not wasting another month, not wasting another day on something that's draining me. Men are opting out of that bullcrap, man.
Okay.
And I think that people don't understand that whenever a man loves you, he's going to correct you, right? Whenever you deal with a man who wants the best for you, you have to be able to accept the fact that he's going to make you take accountability. He's going to hold you accountable for your actions. His correction is part of his protection for you. He's going to make sure that you are the best version of you at all points in times, no matter what goes on. So he's going to hold you accountable. Calling him sexual for holding you accountable is crazy. Wow. There is no way that man is because he wants you to be accountable. Where'd that come from?
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
If you're a single dude in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you should absolutely be going to hot yoga. 1000%. I just started doing it this year, and on top of being an amazing workout, it's also every single class is just full of beautiful humans, and it's always 95% women. So if you're a dude and come to hot yoga, it's the world is your oyster. I don't necessarily know how you'd spit game or approach the women because it's similar to a gym setting, but that's on y'all. I'm just here to give options and ideas. And if you're wondering where's my wife? Where's this wholesome woman that I'm looking for who takes care of herself and is staying at home on a Friday night? She's at hot yoga.
I see why work out, I ain't gonna lie. I would never, but I could see why you could be yo, this. You know what I'm saying? On some human level, I get it, but don't do that, bro. Call your bros. That's why all my friends that get therapy. Facts.
Conversations.
Therapy is gangster.
Get a mentor.
Yes.
Same thing with men.
Yes.
Like you said, men are the prize. There's some good men out there.
Yes, ma'am.
I would never say all men.
Right.
Because that's not the truth, right? But again, you can understand why a man would walk out.
Right.
But you also understand how important a man's presence is.
Yes, sir.
In a child's life and in a woman's life.
Mm-hmm.
So you chose positively.
And when you really look at it, I hate to say it, I really do. But when you look at it and just being real about marriage for a second, on paper, for men, it's not really that great of a deal. It's a bad deal. You're essentially, in a lot of these situations with the way these modern women act, you're signing a contract where if things go wrong, you lose half of everything. You might lose your kids. You might end up paying alimony, child support. And what's the upside of that? Nothing. What do men gain legally in this day and age with these modern women from marriage that they can't get without it? When men actually look at the contract, a lot of men are saying, no, thank you. At least not without a prenup.
So we're all rewatching The City right now since it's on Netflix. And I was just thinking to myself, man, dating in the 90s and early 2000s was just so much easier because people actually talked to each other. People were out and about. Like, there was never any like remote work. People didn't like self-isolate. Like, you had to be out in the world. And then right as I was thinking that, and I was like, man, if I'd been dating then, it'd be so easy. The thought popped in my head of like, what if in the 90s or early 2000s, I was dating a guy that was a Republican, which back then was respectable, I think. As I have mentioned before, I used to be a Republican before Trump entered the scene. And I was just thinking about like, I would now be married potentially to a man that used to be like a George W. Bush Republican that then became a MAGA. And then quickly I was like, thank God I am dating in the year 2026 and I didn't accidentally marry a man that became MAGA later on, because that would just be very devastating. So grass is always greener. I think we've got it good now because we can go into whatever situation eyes wide open.
The bar is actually in for us single women. I went to take my dog out tonight and I noticed a young man in front of his car seemingly waiting to pick up a date. So I thought, I got back from taking my dog out. It had been 10 plus minutes at this point and he was still standing out in front of the car. The whole time I was taking my dog out, I was like, oh my God, chivalry's not dead. What a gentleman. Like, this is why I'm not settling, because that is what every woman deserves, for a man to be waiting to open your car door. Of course, me being nosy, I was like, are you waiting on a first date? And he was like, no, I'm a chauffeur. And I said, oh, I was hoping chivalry wasn't. And he said, but if I were, this is how I would greet her. So yeah, you know what? I'll talk, no action, buddy. But then I watched another grown man hug a woman that he was definitely picking up for a date. And then he proceeded to walk to his own car door and open his door, but not hers. Oh, so the bar is in because I'm sitting here the whole time. Like, it made my day. I was just sitting there thinking, oh my God, this young man, he's about to open the car door. She's going to be so excited. That is amazing. That is so sweet. Like, everyone deserves that. And then no, he was just a chauffeur. Oh, also a man completely opened a door in front of me today, walked through and let it close on me, in Palm Beach. So yeah.
And one of the things that Kevin Samuels talked about was signs. Shame, insults, guilt. They need to be right. And the funny thing is, you can't really shame men anymore. It don't work. You can call men whatever you want. Oh, you bitter. Oh, you hurt. Oh, you an incel. Whatever the heck the word of the day is. Whatever y'all make up that's trending and stuff like that. I hear the new thing right now is something about a print or something like that. Whatever you want to say, it don't really matter. It don't hit the same. Men have heard it all at this point. And when you realize that, trying to continue to shame a man is just a tactic to try to get a man back in line, it loses its sting. It loses its power. You can't really shame a man that don't really care what you think. And that's the difference now.
Because when I walked in, it was packed. And what do you think I saw? What do you think I saw?
What did you see?
Exactly what I thought I was going to see.
What?
80 women sitting alone. No men in sight. None.
I saw so many Black women try to solve a problem in dating by starting to host events in person, trying to create third spaces to facilitate dating like offline. And you know what would happen every single time? The men were not signing up. They would be selling tickets to speed dating, and they would always end up with men's tickets on sale. Always, because they weren't buying it, right? Not one single man sent their profile in. And mind you, this is an account that has well over 100,000 followers. It's just time to stop. It's time to stop. They have made it very loud and clear.
And here's why I think we're doomed to be single for the rest of our lives.
We think that we've actually hit rock bottom.
I'm gonna get hate for this, but whatever. I approached a black man this week at like a dating event, and he was not interested in me, and that by itself is like not a great story, right? I tried to shoot my shot, he was not interested, I moved on. But immediately after I walked away from this man, he went up to a group of 5 white women and he introduced himself to all of them. And then I kind of observed out of like the corner of my eye for the rest of the evening, this man was only going up and talking to different white women. Later that night, another very attractive black man came in, the exact same thing, only talked to the white women that were in the room. There were maybe 6 or 7 black women throughout. And I could tell, I would look over at the black women occasionally, they would be looking, we would all be observing the same thing. We're all thinking the same thing, right? And as someone who has reviewed a bunch of different like dating events, I have seen this play out so many times where you walk into a room, the black women are looking for other black men and the black men are not looking for black women.
So here's something else that women shared with me. And let me know if you resonate with this in any way. I have so many friends, and yet I still feel lonely. Let me know if that hits something in you, if you feel that somewhere in you. Because when I was working, when I was a teacher, I had so many friends, and yet I still felt lonely. And that was hard. And then when I stopped teaching, all of those people that I thought were my friends, they really weren't. They really weren't. It was a friendship of convenience. And I realized that, and that's why I always felt lonely in those places, because they weren't really my friends. And we're given this notion that we have to like collect friends, right? We feel like we have to collect them. We pull them from here, we pull them from here. But we don't. Because when we show up who we are, as we are, every day, the places where we will belong will show themselves to us. And that is a true story. And when you come to realize that, the people that are sent into your life have more depth. They're real. They're true. They're not going to be having stories behind your back. They're not going to make you feel as if you don't fit in or you have to be a certain way. And you get to relax and you get to exhale. And that's what I did with this program that I'm offering called Belonging. It's a 5-day free event, I should say. It's not the program. Program comes after. But it's a space for women where they can be there and not feel alone because they're loved and they're accepted where they're at. Is this something that interests you? If it is, reply belonging and let's have a conversation.
I paid for me and a guy's first date the other night. So let's get into the story.
I always find it so funny, the few circumstances where there's a girl telling a story time where she had to pay for the date. You would think when you read the comments section, like this man like wrecked her car or something like that. The comments are crazy. This is insane. You can't spell disappointment without men. I got annoyed just listening. Keep in mind, literally only a week ago, I made a video talking about the girl that said something along the lines of, a girl with an $150 nail set, she's not trying to use you for a free meal. It doesn't even mean that much to her. This meal, I don't know if you guys want to go click the whole video, ended up being $30 each, so $60 total. Now, was the guy technically, like, I could see how it just rubs you the wrong way, sure, whatever, but I always think it's so funny. This is my point. The moment this girl had to pay for a $30 meal, technically, for this guy, these are the same women that are liking videos talking about how, yeah, a girl's not using you for a free meal, like she has an $150 nail set, she could easily afford it, and this girl's coming online to tell this story time as if, again, you know, this guy robbed her like whole belongings. And keep in mind, if you go click the whole video, she eventually did get the meal paid for. Like the guy ended up Venmoing her. It took like a while, but he ended up paying for the full meal. But, you know, just the fact that he didn't do it in that one circumstance was so scarring to for this woman. It's just insane. And I've noticed every single time a girl comes online and they tell a story time about how they somehow got coerced into paying for the man's meal, they always say the line where, like, listen, you asked me out. So, like, yeah, like, because they don't want to explicitly say you're a man, so you should be paying for this meal. So they try to, like, you know, put this straw man of like, well, you asked me out. And then in reality, these same women are like, yeah, I would never go ask a man out. It's a man's job to ask me out. So you're still always going to leave it at the same point and same principle, which is that a man should be paying. So that is why when I see guys that pander like this guy and say these lines of like, oh, she doesn't even care about this meal, bro. She's got expensive stuff. But then you see the moment this girl had to cover a meal one time for a man, one time, it was $30. And keep in mind, she ended up getting the money. She is so scarred by this that all of the women in the comments are like, oh my God, this is insane. This is crazy. And then imagine doing this every single date. Every single date you have to go on. You go on a date with somebody who's not only not appreciative, sometimes you don't even like them. You still have to cover the date. And you wonder why men complain about this stuff. And there's absolutely women that do use you for free meals. Like, you can literally go and look it up on TikTok right now. There's women who, you know, proudly say it. Because keep in mind, if this is your reaction to a dating story, where keep in mind, if you go watch the whole story, at one point he asked her, like, do you want me to contribute? She said no. So she didn't want to say anything. And then now like it's the guy's fault. And you're saying, oh, I'm so disappointed. This is a man's average dating experience times 50, you know, and you guys can't even deal with $30. And keep in mind, like I said, if you watch the whole story, she ended up getting the full meal paid for. He gave her $60. And, you know, they like videos like this. So, yeah, they're all just lying. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
Yeah, so this is the thing people keep missing. These women want all the rules to apply only when it benefits them. They'll mock guys who expect traditional treatment, then lose it the moment they have to contribute anything themselves. Can't pick and choose equality like that. You either believe in it across the board or you don't. That's just logic.
I heard something today and I can't find the video. So if you've heard this and you know the creator, please tag her. What she said was, men can't believe that women are single by choice because men aren't single by choice. And ooh, could she not be more right? I understand that is triggering for a lot of people. And see my comment section and how many guys get triggered when I bring up conversations of things and they turn it completely into a deflection and projection, and they try to talk down to me and, oh, well, look at your situation. How dare you have anything to say about this? And I know, you know, I've been called out on stuff and I get defensive because deep down, I know they're right, but I don't want them to be right. And that's usually where that initial defensiveness comes in, is we know that someone else is bringing up a topic in which we are still maybe unsettled with, and we don't want to believe it. So I know that's going to trigger some people, and I understand, and I get it. My content isn't to bash men as much as so many men say that. It's not. It's to bring conversations to the surface and maybe bring some extra texture to that to help recognize these situations. So the whole situation of they're choosing to be single. There are women that are choosing to not date right now because of the amount of men that lack the ability to have emotional intelligence, who want a mom, who sit there and say, well, what do you bring to the table? Like, this is a freaking bank transaction. They have been so hurt in their past relationships that they're bringing that with them, and they haven't worked through that, and they haven't recognized maybe what they contributed to the failure of that relationship. And yes, you could throw at me every day of the week, well, you haven't healed, and you have all this baggage, and you have all this past relationship. Yeah, but see, I may still have some healing to do because, you know, you're never fully healed. We're always going to have growth. But I recognize that there is that growth there. I recognize when I get triggered. I recognize when something comes up in conversation and I feel like I need to be defensive. That step right there is 1,000 times more important than just sitting there and trying to be defensive. You have to recognize that there are going to be opportunities to grow. And if you just want to sit there and say, well, so-and-so in my past relationship did X, Y, and Z, and because of that, all women are that way, and all women cheat, and all women do this, there's still something there that needs to be worked on and needs to be healed.
This might be a hot take.
This is in fact not a hot take. It's just another regurgitated point that a lot of them have made. It's just coming in a different form from a different woman. Full discretion is advised.
They may not like it, but I genuinely think that if I'm around a man, no matter if it is romantically, friendship, brother, whatever the case may be, if I'm around a man, I do not think that I should have to pay for my own food, put my own gas, take out the trash, open my own doors, nothing.
Every time this point is ever made, it's not that men have an issue with doing chivalrous things for women. It's the fact that you guys feel entitled to these chivalrous things. Like men owe you, and we don't. And not only do y'all feel entitled, y'all show no appreciation for the men that actually do these kind of things for you. It's gotten so bad that it doesn't even matter if a man opens the door for you. A lot of y'all don't even say thank you. That's the least you could do in that moment. That's like you about to do your good deed for the day and you see a bum at the stoplight and you're like, you know what, let me give him a couple dollars. And right before that bum takes the money out your hand, he says, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I'm sure right in that moment, you snatch that shit like, I'm doing you the favor. You should be grateful that I am doing this for you.
I don't think that you should have to see a woman romantically in order to treat her like a woman. I don't.
That's what you mean. I would have to agree with you. You don't have to see her as a romantic interest or your family member to do something nice. However, that woman should also not expect these things from you. The understanding should be, hey, if he does that, I appreciate it. If he does not, I respect his decision as well. But unfortunately, you guys don't go about it that way, which creates a separation and division between men and women. Because the moment we don't do exactly what y'all think we should be doing in that moment, that's when the insults come. We become not a real man. We become little boys. It's like y'all just can't respect a man's decision that does not benefit y'all. But as soon as somebody does the same thing to y'all, then it becomes a problem. Because just imagine if I said, hey, if I'm ever around women, I should never have to fix my plate. I should never have to fix a drink. I should never even have to do my laundry if women are around. I'm 100% sure a lot of y'all will have y'all in a bunch trying to call me all kind of misogynistic and all kind of extra. That's what you mean.
I think it's genuinely a respect thing. I think that women should be put on a pedestal around every man. I don't know.
I'm noticing a pattern here. Every time a woman gets online and says some wild, they'll say the crazy statement, and at the very end, they will always say, I don't know. And it's always after they say some stupid like this.
And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this because I know so many men who are like, I'm not buying that girl food if she ain't going to be my wife. Crazy. I'm not opening no random bitches' doors.
Yeah. And that is their God-given right. They don't have to do any of these things, just like you don't have to do anything for a man. What in your right mind thinks I can have this large expectation of men on what they should be to me or what they should do for me, but they can't expect nothing from me? Not a thing. Point me in the direction of a relationship, whether it be personal, business, or romantic, where that kind of logic is truly serving both parties that are involved. Like, there is no where did y'all get this logic from? It's never been this way. Even when men were super chivalrous, they were receiving something in return, whether it be that woman's appreciation, her gratitude, her respect. We are not getting back for the chivalrous things that we're doing today. I know what you mean.
It was never that deep, bro. Did it take you that much energy to open the door? I don't know.
Good question. I'm glad you brought it up because you're absolutely right. It would not take much for him to open that door, but neither would it take you because the door is not 100 pounds. The fact of the matter is, if a man ever goes out of his way to do something he's not obligated to do, you should show appreciation and gratitude for that man. Walk your happy inside and be appreciative that a man did something he didn't have to do for you. But of course, like any other video, I know you're not going to listen to me. I'm just a normal guy. Y'all keep the change.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Men aren't mad about doing nice things. They're mad about the entitlement and zero gratitude. You do something good, and instead of appreciation, you get nothing or straight disrespect. Then the second a man doesn't comply, he's not a real man. That's the game right there. It's one-sided, and guys are tired of it. So they just stop trying.
My girlfriend has never apologized, not even once. What do you mean she doesn't apologize? I don't know. She always downplays what she does. Even if it's something huge, she'll make it seem like it's not a big deal. Sometimes she'll even change some of the details, and I swear it didn't happen like that. If she can never take accountability for where she goes wrong, that's a huge red flag.
I'm not trying to offend nobody with this one, right? But I feel like there's a lot of women who say, oh, you know what I'm saying, we're living in a time where men act real feminine, but we're also living in a time where women are acting very masculine. Women lost their touch women, even their voice, they sound like Pop Smoke. Like, y'all try so hard to be rough riders instead of being feminine, dressing feminine, acting feminine, smelling feminine. Like, you know what I'm saying? You a lot of y'all just smell like weed and cigarettes. You know, a lot of women just like show on the internet all day. Like, I don't understand. What do you gain from that? And then y'all complain like, oh, you think I'm this. I'm thinking you put that out there. Whatever you put out there is how people are going to perceive you to be. But y'all want men to be a certain way, act a certain way.
I have called you 5 times. 5 times. This is that pisses me off.
So wait, why is he partying? Why would crazy be good? I draw a lot of angry women because you gotta go with what you know. Here's one making a false accusation and lashing out. People call this behavior crazy because they don't get it. I've spoken about projection before. That's when you feel something and then you imagine that somebody else did something to cause it even though they didn't. So he's happy because she's angry that he didn't answer the phone.
5 times. This is the that pisses me off.
He knows that she's imagining him doing something bad. Why is that good? Because that means that she cares what he's doing when she's not around. And she's imagining bad things and that he might have done them. And she wouldn't spend her energy on that if she did not like him. She's defending him from other women. So when women get crazy, they're actually just being territorial. Because if I don't know what you're doing, then it could be bad for me. Because you have passed my test. And now we are connected. So this is my business. Sometimes this is how they say I like you.
I don't want to hear you.
So he's breaking down why men actually like when women get territorial about them. And that's real. When she's calling 5 times, she's not doing that because she doesn't care. She's doing it because she's invested and worried about losing him. Men understand that's a sign she's locked in.
When I am committed, I don't know how to not show up in the most powerful way for my man. Like that whole pullback thing. And my therapist told me, he's like, Sarah, stop acting like a wife to these men that are not showing up as a husband. Yeah. I said, well, what is the difference between a wife and a girlfriend? Because realistically speaking, if the only thing that changes is that we made a commitment under God and that we signed a legal paper, what's the difference?
There are distinct differences.
What would you say those are?
Okay, first of all, for someone else, it needs to be taught this.
Yes.
For a girlfriend, there are boundaries that you need to put in place. Right?
Yes.
You're not sharing finances.
Agreed.
As a girlfriend, he doesn't get to dictate. To have an opinion, and you get to choose to respect that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get to make certain demands.
This is true.
You know? As a girlfriend, am I exclusive yet? If I am, prove it to me.
Right. This is true.
You don't get to have exclusivity without
no commitment.
A plan.
Yes.
Sir, I need to know your plan.
Yes.
Not just a commitment. Okay, how long you think you're going to keep me off the market without a plan?
Right.
Without prove it to me.
Yeah.
I'm from the show me state.
Yes.
Okay? And I understand my value.
Yes.
So unless you are coming and you are serious about taking me off the market, I'm still there.
Yeah.
One of the things that modern women, even though they're not saying it, they try to shame men. One of the things that modern women have been trying to do for a long time is they've been trying to feminize men. Trying to soften men up, trying to tell them that masculine energy is toxic. But then what happens? Those same women are out here saying, I can't find a real man. I want an alpha man. Where's a masculine man? A strong man. That's what they're saying. I mean, you mean the ones that you tried to shame? That you said wasn't a real man for the things that they said and the way that they was acting? You mean those? Can't find me a man that's an alpha, a real man, a man that takes charge, a man that wants to be a protector. So which one is it? Y'all can't continue to try to tear a man down, tear down his masculinity, tear down his framework, and then complain that there's no masculine men left. You did that. You created that.